Amazon just hit $717 billion in revenue, but there's something buried in their financials they're not advertising. Their growth engine is dying. And what they're building to replace it? Well, we're gonna find out. So I've been selling on Amazon for about 8 years. I've seen the algorithm changes, fee increases, review purges, all of it. But a few weeks ago, something started nagging at me. Look, we know fees have been climbing, ad costs keep rising, margins keep shrinking. You're working harder than you ever have and making less money. Everybody complains about it, including me, but nobody explains why. So I did something I've never done before. I pulled Amazon's financial reports, including the recent 2025 results. Every segment, every growth rate, 6 years of data. And 3 days later, I had my answer. Not just what's happening, but why it's happening and what's coming next. So think of this as like a financial documentary. No hype, no predictions, just the numbers and what they actually tell us. We're gonna walk through Amazon's financials together, and by the end, you'll see this platform and your business on it completely differently. So let's start with Prime. Prime is Amazon's growth engine, has been for like 20 years. And it's a simple pitch. You pay for a membership, you get free shipping. Because of that, you buy more stuff. And it worked spectacularly. 2013, 25 million Prime members. 2017, 65 million. 21, 153 million. 24, over 200 million. That's 8-fold growth in 11 years. But here's what Amazon is not advertising. Just look at that growth rate. 2016, 35%. 2018, 20%. 2020, 15%. 2022, 6%. 2024, like 3 to 4%. You see that? The engine is stalling. And it's not even because Amazon screwed up, it's just math. Each one of these dots represents 1 million US adults. There's 270 million of them. Over 200 million are already Prime. That's 75% penetration, 3 out of 4 adults in the US. There's almost nobody left. The remaining 25%, they're not future customers. They're people Amazon can't convert. We're talking economically constrained, people that literally can't justify or don't have the money to spend for a Prime membership. Geographically difficult. They're in a rural area that maybe is just difficult to take advantage of Prime membership. They're generationally resistant, basically just old people that don't shop online, or they're philosophically opposed. Amazon has tried for years, and these people are not coming to Prime. So that growth engine that powered Amazon from $89 billion to $717 billion, it's hitting a wall. That's the thing hiding in plain sight. So what does a $717 billion company do when its main engine stalls? Well, they have two options. One, they just accept slower growth, tell Wall Street the hypergrowth era is over. Or option two, they find a new way to grow. Obviously, Amazon's chosen option two. But here's the thing, they didn't find new growth. They found a way to extract more from what they already have. Just watch the pattern. Amazon breaks their revenue into segments. And when you look at each one, the strategy literally jumps off the page. So segment 1, online stores. Amazon selling products directly, first party retail or 1P Amazon. 2019, $141 billion. 2025, $269 billion. Decent growth, 91% over 6 years. But here's the detail that made me pause. In 2022, this segment went negative. First decline ever. And since then, it's been growing about 7% a year, just a bit more than inflation. So Amazon's original business has matured. The rocket ship has become a cargo plane. Segment 2. Now look at third-party seller services, the fees you and I pay, FBA, referrals, shipping. 2019, $54 billion. 2025, $172 billion. It's 220% growth. So while their own retail grew 91%, seller fees grew to 220%. Segment 3. And this is the number that really stopped me cold, and it's advertising. 2019, $14 billion. 2025, $69 billion. It's 387% growth. No down years, no slow years, just relentless compounding. 7 straight years above 18% growth. 7. Now here's the number that rewired how I think about this platform. In 2019, Amazon made 38 cents off sellers for every dollar of their own retail sales. And in 2025, 64 cents. They're not growing by selling more products necessarily. They're growing by charging us more to access customers they already acquired. Seller fees and advertising aren't side businesses. They are the business now. So this is the pattern. Why fees keep rising, why ad costs keep climbing, why margins feel impossible. It's not random, it's not greed, it's just strategy. And honestly, you can't really blame Amazon. When you can't add more customers, you extract more from the ones you have. So you're not bad at the selling thing, the math just stopped working. Okay, so here's where the story actually shifts a little bit, because Amazon isn't just squeezing harder on the same model, they built something new, something flying completely under the radar, and once you see how it works, you can't unsee it. Early 2024, Amazon launched something called Rufus. And most people shrugged, just another chatbot. But they missed it. Amazon just announced that by the end of 2025, Rufus had over 300 million users, up $30 million from just Q3. During Black Friday, Rufus was involved in 38% of shopping sessions. Amazon says Rufus drove nearly $12 billion in annualized sales last year. That's in less than 2 years. So I don't think this is a feature, this is literally a takeover. And now it's going agentic. Amazon just launched Buy For Me, which basically means that Rufus can now shop other online stores off of Amazon and make purchases on your behalf. I want you to read that again. Amazon's AI assistant is shopping competitor websites through Amazon's interface using Amazon's checkout. So they're not just extracting from their own marketplace anymore. They're reaching outside of it. So what is Rufus actually doing? This took me honestly a while to piece together. Amazon's platform isn't that customers aren't spending. Prime members already drive like $1,400 a year. The problem is that they're not spending enough. Amazon ran the numbers and they're only capturing a fraction of what's possible. And Rufus is designed to close that gap. 4 levers. Let me walk you through each one. Lever 1 is visit frequency. Right now, average Prime members visit Amazon 150 to 200 times a year, give or take. And it sounds like a lot, but think about all of your purchase decisions that don't start on Amazon. What's the best sunscreen for sensitive skin? What do I need for a camping trip? What's a good gift for a new dad? These questions typically go to Google, Reddit, or your friends. Rufus is designed to intercept them. And this is really critical and literally the do or die of Amazon's future. Amazon is trying to be the first place that you ask, not the first place that you buy. I want to say that one more time. Amazon wants to make it the first place that you ask, not just the place that you buy. So Amazon's target, 300 to 350 visits per year, 50 to 75% increase, exact same customers. Now lever 2 is conversion rate. Amazon's current conversion rate is 12 to 13%. Exceptional by any standard, because if you look at Shopify, you're good if you get a 3% conversion rate. But think about why people don't buy. Overwhelmed by options, uncertain which product is right. They don't trust the reviews. Rufus cuts through that. Instead of 2,000 results and good luck, a conversation. You bought a Canon camera last year. Here's some compatible lenses. Based on your budget and needs, these 3 make the most sense. Amazon's target, 22 to 25% conversion, nearly double, exact same traffic. Lever 3 is basket size. Average Amazon order 2.3 items. It's actually shockingly low. Just think about what you purchased last time you went to a mall or a grocery store. So Rufus prompts connection you wouldn't think of. You're buying hiking boots. You'll want moisture wicking socks for break-in. You bought a tent last month. Here's a complete camping checklist. Amazon's target, 4 to 6 items per order, 100% increase in basket size. Lever 4, order frequency. Average Prime member, 24 to 48 orders per year. Pretty widespread, but Rufus compresses the gap between wanting and buying. Auto buy triggers price tracking, predictive replenishment. You usually run out of protein powder around now. Want me to reorder? Amazon's target, 55 to 80 orders per year, up to 100% increase. Now here's the part that kept me up. These levers don't add, they multiply. 50% more visits times 80% better conversion times 100% bigger baskets times 50% more orders. The same 200 million Prime members could generate 60 to 100% more revenue without Amazon acquiring a single new customer. It's not extraction, that's an extraction machine. Now I know what you're thinking, and you should be thinking this because I was too. This sounds like a nightmare. Amazon squeezing harder, cost spiking, margins vanishing, but just stay with me. Because there's a flip side to all this and the reason I made this video. Some mornings you open Seller Central and wonder, is this even worth it anymore? And look, I get it. Well, it's really hard to feel like looking at things glass half full. I want you to think about this. If Rufus works, if Amazon actually increases visits, conversion, baskets, and orders, what happens to the pie? gets bigger. More shopping sessions mean more chances to get discovered. Higher conversions mean more of those sessions turn into purchases. Bigger baskets mean more items moving per transaction. More orders mean more total volume flowing through. It's distinctly possible that for the first time in years, sellers can grow with Amazon again. Not just get extracted from, but only if you're positioned for it. So here's shift 1. The old game is win by ranking for keywords. The new game is win by being the answer to a question. When someone asks Rufus, what's the best protein powder for sensitive stomachs? It doesn't spit out 3,000 results anymore. It recommends 3 to 5 products. And if you're in that 3 to 5, you win the whole query. If you're not, you're invisible. Shift 2. The old game is optimized for search terms. The new game is optimized for use cases. Your listing needs to spell out specific situations your product nails. Best for sensitive stomachs, designed for beginners, ideal for small apartments. Rufus is matching products to intent. If your listing doesn't clearly state the intent you solve, Rufus skips right past you. Shift 3. The old game is chase star ratings. The new game is earn semantic attributes. Rufus doesn't just scan your rating, it reads your reviews. And in my experience, reviews are one of the biggest things that can lead you to rank in Rufus's algorithm. It pulls out what customers actually say, easy to assemble, run small, size up, great customer service. The words in your reviews become ammunition for Rufus to recommend you or to bury you. Shift 4, the old game is defend your keywords. The new game is attack open questions. What's a good gift for a dad who loves coffee? What do I need for my first camping trip? How do I set up a home gym under $500? High intent queries, no obvious winner, wide open. The seller who builds content to answer these questions captures demand that used to scatter across dozens of searches. Now here's the thing, I'm not going to pretend like this is all upside. It never is with Amazon. Amazon's baking bias into Rufus. In some categories, 83% of recommendations are actually Amazon sold products. And the new ad slots inside of Rufus conversations, they're going to be expensive. You can count on that. The extraction pressure doesn't vanish. I almost guarantee you're going to pay more to access this growth. But that big ad business that Amazon's built, they have a real innovator's dilemma on their hands. Because how are they going to monetize ads in a world where the shopping experience is a single terminal, or someone's voice, or who knows what it's going to be in 2 to 3 years? I honestly don't know how they're going to juggle the ad piece, but I do know that Amazon always plays the long game. They always patiently and aggressively plant seeds, and they always ruthlessly extract after they've won. But here's the math I keep coming back to regardless of the outcome. The growth is real. More sessions, more conversions, more volume. And there's more to capture, even if capturing it costs more. So let me land this thing. Amazon isn't broadcasting, obviously, that their growth engine is dying. They're not announcing they've pivoted to extraction. They honestly never do. They're not explaining that Rufus is designed to squeeze more from every customer interaction, but now you've seen it. The game is shifting. Keywords, ranking, PPC, the old playbook, it's not dead yet, but it's fading. What's replacing it rewards different things. Specificity over generics, answers over rankings, use cases over keywords. Sellers who see this coming, they'll ride the wave. And the sellers who don't, they'll wonder why they went invisible. So here's what I keep landing on. Amazon just tipped their hand in the stark reality of their financials. They can't grow by adding customers anymore, so they're growing by making each customer worth more. If Rufus delivers, and the numbers say it has a pretty damn good chance to, there's going to be a lot more demand flowing through this platform than we've ever seen. More demand is opportunity. The question is simple. Are you positioned to capture it? Look, I'm going to be spending the next 12 months making sure that I am. More content like this is coming, real analysis, no hype. Put a link below if you want to see the full thesis on the financials, if you want to dig deeper. But thank you for watching.